How will, that's from Murky, can the resistance deal with foreign actors supporting Israel if it escalates to an invasion? I don't think anyone will support Israel invade, personally. If it reaches that point, you will undoubtedly start to have other participation, or at least increase the likelihood of external participation from other countries too. Not necessarily in the form of an official country side, but it could be other movements. In terms of manpower, what are they going to do in Lebanon? Guerrilla warfare? In the mountains of Lebanon? What are you going to do? It's not going to work. All of this is a show for Benjamin Netanyahu's continuation. For Benjamin Netanyahu's continuation and for Israel's plans to expand its new state ambitions. Hafiz, thank you so much for that. Terry, you're asking about U.S. news outlets reporting that Iran's position is that it doesn't want war with Israel. Will Iran get involved soon? Well, the comments that we're hearing from Iran is that we don't want war, but Israel is dragging the region to a war. Now, there's an open interpretation there. Iran, of course, it would rather not go to a war, right? But they know that they can be dragged into a war at some point. And Iran and the United States probably have some understandings, certain understandings. However, any of those understandings will be put aside when it comes to Israel. Why? Because Israel dictates what it wants to do, and it even has the upper hand on the United States administration. When you're talking about the two main opponents, candidates for the presidency in the United States, fighting over who supports Israel more, what does that tell you? They have them under their thumb. Their lobby funds them and controls both of them. So Israel now is disregarding American interests, because the American interest, I don't think it was for an all-out war now. They like things to be a war, low heat, managed and controlled. They don't like things getting out of hand. Now, Israel, of course, is reckless, and they're continuing, but the United States is still supporting them. So when will that reach to? Exactly, right? So Iran, I think they are trying to not get involved for as long as possible. To them, they would rather win by points with Israel. Likewise, really, with Hezbollah to a large extent. But Israel is proving time after time that it's a reckless, genocidal, expansionist entity that is not necessarily thinking with its interest in mind, with its own interest in mind. And you can observe that by observing what many profound Zionists, as in Israel, say. You know, listen to them constantly. You know, you have people criticizing Netanyahu and his approach, heavily saying that he's leading Israel to oblivion. He's completely dismantling the country. He's killing Israel with what he's doing. And Netanyahu is still pushing the buttons. Now, with regards to the involvement soon, that all depends on the level of escalation. Hezbollah is the crown when it comes to the resistance movements in the region. You're talking about a movement more armed than many countries. Big firepower. Again, they themselves, Hezbollah, they don't want an all-out war. And they made it clear. But they're faced with an enemy who is reckless, who is genocidal, who is psychopathic, and is totally depraved. No morals whatsoever. No respect for laws, no respect for nothing whatsoever. Depraved. total depravity, abhorrent depravity. How do you deal with that? Well, by telling them, no, it's not going to work. The way things are going is towards something bigger, with potentially more countries participating. The countries will try and avoid participating in an official or on an official level up until they're really, really forced to. So from Iran's perspective, it would rather that everyone else participates before they directly get involved. Like, I was surprised when they attacked Israel in April. I was surprised. That's why to this day, I think they will have some sort of action against the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Like at the time, I thought they would probably say, okay, maybe the Ansarullah in Yemen or Iraq, someone in Iraq will attack or something. But no. They attacked, meaning they showed willingness to attack. And they had the courage to attack and put themselves at risk. So Iran is the only country at a country state, because everyone fighting Israel now are not countries, they are movements. They are national, definitely national resistance movements. Hezbollah, the Iraqi resistance, the Ansarullah in Yemen. Iran is the only country who did something against Israel, officially. No one else. So there is a big likelihood that they will participate. There's likelihood of an involvement officially. Well, now, of course, you'd have Lebanon as a state, aside to Hezbollah, or side by side to Hezbollah, because we had a report that the army confirmed that we will participate with Hezbollah if Israel invades Lebanon. So we will fight Israel. That's something new. But then Iran. Then other countries like, for example, listen, Egypt has the most tensions, maybe. I mean, they try and resolve it in diplomatic matters, but I think the likelihood of anyone intervening after Lebanon and Iran, probably Egypt. Because don't forget, he went on this war in Lebanon, this genocide and terrorism, but nothing has been solved in Gaza. So you still have the issue of Rafah, you still have the issue of the Philadelphia corridor and the Netzarim line, and he still has the feud with Egypt, and Egypt is still siding with Hamas when it comes to the position of Israel withdrawing from the Philadelphia corridor, meaning he still has tensions with Egypt. He's not closing anything, he's just trying to fire more locations, satellite more locations. He wants to expand.